Hello, everyone. How's it going? This is Stick MC. And while I wait for my computer to decide to actually allow me to play Dead by Daylight, I figured this was as good a time as any to talk about the fact that I played 100 games of Wraith with no perks and no add-ons. And what that means is I can see what happens. So if you watched my previous video, I played 100 games with Trapper, no perks and no add-ons, and I won 57 of those games. And all of this is kind of designed to test. There's a lot of content out there where people are like, well, what's the viability of the killer, or how viable is the killer? And so I'll talk about that a little bit more. But I figure the first thing I should do is I should actually just go over the actual data. And so what we have here is these are my games with the Wraith. And the bottom line up front is my overall record was 56, 34, and 10. That means out of 100 games, I won 56. That means I got 3 more kills. I lost 34. That means 3 or more people escaped. And I had 10 ties, 2 kills, 2 escapes. My overall kill rate, which is total numbers of survivors faced, or to be more accurate, total numbers of survivors killed divided by the total number of survivors faced. So my kill rate was 61%, and my win rate, like how many games I won, was 56%. So there is some deviation, but if you go back and watch the last video, I cleared some of that up. You're not going to have a 61% kill rate and a 20% win rate. I tried very hard to mathematically make that work, and it just doesn't. But there was a lot of debate. Well, how did it go? What's going on? So first, I'm just going to go back to Trapper. And if we go back to Trapper, this is my Trapper game. Now, the difference is with Wraith, I actually recorded all 100 games. I even recorded my 10 warm-up games. And that's all documented. You can go to this channel, you can look at it, you can tally it up. But I did some basic stuff with Trapper because I was just figuring things out. It was a bit of fun. And then I realized, hey, this is data that I want to share with people. This is data that I want people to look at. And so what I ended up doing is started thinking more specifically, and I'll get into that later. So my final record was 57, 27, and 16. So I actually had more wins and loss. I had fewer wins and more losses, I think, with Wraith. Let me go back. Yeah, I had more losses with Wraith. I kind of expected that. I had fewer ties. My overall kill percentage with Trapper was 63%, and my overall win percentage was 57. So with Wraith, I got a little bit better. I started tracking a little bit more data. And so these are my final overall statistics. So in all 100 games, I had 748 hooks, 242 kills. There were a total of 87 gens not done that could have been. 158 survivors escaped. Here's a big one. People are like, well, how many hooks? I averaged 7.48 hooks a game. So no, not enough for an iridescent devout, but still plenty of kills, still plenty of hooks. I certainly didn't average 4 hooks a game. But my kill rate was different, 2.42 kills per game. And naturally that means it's 1.58 survivors escape per game. And I only had 0.87 gens left per game. But then I had this idea. I wanted to start tracking how long did it take me to down a survivor. So from when I saw a survivor to when I hit the survivor, it took, I'll clarify this in a moment, but from when I saw a survivor to when I hit a survivor, it took about 5.5 seconds. From when I saw a survivor to when I downed the survivor, it took just about 25% if you round up. And then from when I saw a survivor to when I actually got the survivor on the hook, it took an average of 40 seconds a chase. Now, this only counts chases that I pursued or chases that ultimately ended in hooks. Honestly, guys, I just do this for fun. I don't have the time to track every chase and annotate whether it was a win or a loss. Obviously if things kicked off or this became, bigger. Right now, it's just a guy having fun taking data and sharing it with people. If I had time, inclination, or ability to track every chase and declare whether it was a win or a loss, or whether it was a chase that I entertained or a hit that I took because it was there. Because sometimes, especially with Wraith, you do a lot of hit and run. So I only tracked the chases that ended in hooks, and those took about 40 seconds to chase. This data here, when did the first hook happen? How long did it take for me to get my first survivor on a hook? So that data, that's in seconds, not minutes. That everyone would have opinions. So I'll do the math right quick. 126, I'll say 127 just to round up, divided by 60. So it took on average of 2 minutes and 11 seconds. It took on average of 2 minutes and 12 seconds to get a survivor on the hook. Now that is very relevant data. When you think about like how this game operates, you start to think, hey, if you get a guy on that first hook, it's going to have an impact on what those survivors are or what those other survivors are doing. If I had 2 minutes before a hook happened, then that should end in like 4 gens getting done. I need you to know that this idea came late. So that only tracked my last 35 games. And there were some games where I was really, really frog stomped. So if you start looking as I go later on in the game, what you'll start to see is on games where it took forever to get a guy in the hook, absolutely. I had chases where I only ever had one hook the whole game, and all the gens were done. More on that in a moment. And then the other thing, hey, how many gens were completed by the time I got my first hook? And again, I only tracked the last 35. So this is interesting. I averaged just about 1 gen per first hook, which, as a survivor, when I play, that kind of works. It is my personal opinion that if we get 1 gen done before that first hook happens, I feel pretty good. That's not absolute, but we're going to get more data here as I continue. Now, this may be a place where someone goes, well, clearly you weren't playing very well. Clearly you weren't playing very well, and clearly you weren't playing very good survivors. I can't pick my survivors, folks. I have no power of determining it. And if I were to do scrims against 4-man survivor friends, well, the best killer in the game, and I'm not saying that sarcastically, I truly believe that True Talent is the best killer main in this game. Starvis up there, various things like that. I truly believe he's one of the best. And he took on one of the tournament guys with Wraith, and that didn't work out very well for him. Again, I can't pick my opponents, and neither can anyone, but that's not what I'm trying to measure. I am not definitively trying to measure how do these killers do against the top, because I only play the guys that I play. I wanted to measure how do I play this killer against the survivors I play. And so good or bad, this is how I did. Now I'm going to come over here. The first thing I'm going to tell you is very, very quickly, I learned that with Wraith, if I do not camp and tunnel maliciously, I don't win any games. So then there's the next accusation. Well, if you're camping and tunneling, then, it's not a thing. You can't make that argument. You can't say, you cannot tell me that you're not playing killer well if you camp and tunnel, but then you get a 100 games, you get a 100 4K streak or a 100 wins in a row, and you'll camp and tunnel, or then you go in a tournament for money, and when something real is on the line, you go straight to camping and tunneling. You can say camping and tunneling is bad and it's not skill and you should never do it, and then you don't do it, and then you can make that argument. Or you can say, hey man, you do what you got to do to win. I took this whole challenge is designed on, I want to think like a killer main who wants to win tournaments, who wants to win all the time, who will take out all the stops to win. I'm going for a 100 game win streak. I never had one. I think my highest win streak, I don't know, I'll go to Trapper real quick. I know this is a huge tangent, but what else am I going to do? As you can see, based on the formatting, I figured some things out. That was 6-0. 7, 8, 9. Well, so that was 6-0. So 6 in a row. Yeah. So my biggest win streak of all time was actually with Wraith, and it was 7 wins in a row. But I played as ruthlessly as I felt necessary. I played as hardcore as I can play. I did all the things that I could possibly think to do to win this game, and that is what I did. And so here I barely got 2 wins. I barely got 2 wins. I got beat. I had a losing. So I go in 4 game splits. I lost that split. I haven't had a winning split yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 splits. So 7 times 4, 28 games before I had a winning split. 28 games before I had a winning split. Every other game was notably like 2 kills and some ties with a couple losing games in there. Now, one explanation for this is me just being honest and forthright. I understand Wraith to a degree. I actually mained Wraith when I wasn't maining Trapper way back when I started the game, way back. This might have been, if I don't know when the game came out, but it was really early on. Way back when I first started playing Dead by Daylight, definitely before Freddy, definitely before Pig. So whatever year that is. But the point is, I played Wraith, and Wraith was definitely stronger when I played him then. The lunge was different. The other thing is, I'm a console player. I'm still a console player, but there's another trick coming up too. So I didn't play Wraith for a very long time, and I don't think I'm very good at Wraith. So you'll see here as I kind of page down, there's my winning record, and then I got frog stomped a bunch. Then I eked out a tie, I eked out a tie, then I got a winning record. Now look what starts happening. Somewhere around game 40, somewhere around game 60, I started figuring it out. I started figuring out Wraith a little bit more. And I will also note something else happened. I went from just a good old-fashioned Xbox One to an Xbox S or whatever this. I don't know. It was a gift from my brother. I got a fancy one where that connection speed is so much difference. When I was playing on Xbox One, you can go back and watch some of the early Wraith videos. I'd swing, and I swear to you, from my point of view, my weapon would go through the survivor, but then the survivor would be like magically 30 frames ahead, and I'm on his highlight video on YouTube. When I switched over to a platform that is closer in FPS to the survivors, suddenly I am doing much better. I'm doing a whole lot better, and that is interesting to me. So for my money, when I'm looking at this, I don't know when I got the new controller, but 2 things happened. 1, I started playing him better, and 2, I had a more competitive platform. Now I still don't play PC. But I do play cross-platform. I don't just play Xbox. I play cross-platform. So I play a whole lot of PC guys. But you know, things start happening. So you know, average. I'm still at this point. I'm still just tracking how long it takes me to down a guy. But then you know, that took 139 seconds. This took 157 seconds. But I'll talk about that more later as well. I got a lot of things to kind of talk on, but I'll touch on all of it. But look, winning after this losing record, winning record. Okay, 1 losing record, tie. losing record, winning record, winning record, winning record, winning. So I just started doing better. Now look, you can't have 56 wins out of 100, whatever my MMR is, and I don't know, but whatever my MMR is, I won 57 games as Trapper and 56 games as Wraith. So how bad can I be? Now, again, I watch, in my opinion, it's, you know, you can argue, I do think that True is the best as far as it goes with Killer Main. I don't personally see a lot of games where he loses. Now maybe he doesn't air them. Maybe they're just on his Twitch. I don't know. But I sure see him win a lot. So obviously his MMR is going to be higher than mine. But I can't pick my survivors, but who I play, the way I play, I win. Things I knew about Wraith. Wraith worked best for me when I got a hook in my 3-gen. If I got a hook in my 3-gen, and I think that's accurate for anyone, with Wraith, I think that was more important. If I entertained chases, I lost big. If I entertained chases, I'll say it again, I lost big. My favorite thing in the world, and this is still carrying over from my games as Trapper, altruism is the perk killers never have to bring. If survivors just let the guy I'm camping and tunneling die, I never kill more than 1 killer a game. But lucky for me, it's real hard for you to just leave your buddy up on a hook and call that a day. It's just really, really hard to do that. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. There were a lot of games where, you know, maybe people were trying to sabo and do clever things like that, or people were trying to help out their friends. Yeah, the more you're trying to help the one guy I'm determined to kill, the more likely I'm going to kill more than one guy. That's not always true. I remember one game in particular on the Crow map. I could confirm that some of these are labeled a confirmed 4-man survivor friends. And the guy told me, like, you should have never chased him. His only job is to run killers. And you ran him he ran you for the whole game. And he did. And all props to that guy. And then when I finally got him on the hook, 3 guys came and were able to get him off the hook. And it didn't work out for me. It wasn't my favorite day. What I will say that Wraith did that I fell in love with very quickly is when Wraith rings his bell, it looks like he's swinging his weapon. Well, technically he is. He's using his weapon to ring the bell. But I believe Wraith has built-in dead hard avoidance, because when I just went to fake a bell ring, they think I'm attacking and they dead hard, and then I could just hit them. Sometimes the timing didn't work out, but I didn't track it, but a significant high percentage of the time, 60, 70%, 80% of the time, I get dead hard every single time. I just do that little fake bell ring and they would dead hard, and then I could down them. The other thing that ability gave me is when I'm camping, and I learned or believe that Wraith was better at camping than Trapper. When the Trapper puts a trap down, he can't step on that either. Well, I mean, there's an add-on, but typically he's not going to step on that trap either. So you try to use that and move around, but it once you hit the guy, then the guy gets off the hook and he runs off and you're screwed. And it's sad and you cry and you're angry and you think about uninstalling the game. With that same technique with Wraith, if they're coming for the unhook, they're expecting the move. So I fake the bell ring and they don't get hit. So then the other guy comes in and commits and I can get that grab. I had a lot of hook grabs with Wraith, which just delves into it. Now, again, I'm gonna be out in open. People are like, yeah, but then you're camping and tunneling, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I've never once seen any of the streamer. You name the streamer, you name the pro, you name whoever you want. Not once has the guy been like, oh, well, I chased this guy all game and it's the only hook I'm going to get. But, you know, you're not supposed to camp and tunnel, so I guess I'm just going to walk away. That never happens. What this has done, though, is when I get camped and tunneled, it sucks. It's no fun, but I'm not really mad at the killer because he's just doing what he needs to do to win the game. I think I have I have played 2 killers now, and I played 100 games with each killer. If you want better gameplay, the first thing you have to do is eliminate camping and tunneling. I'll say it again because I repeat things. The first thing you need to do to improve overall game health is completely eliminate the ability to camp and tunnel. A couple ideas on how to do this. When a killer hooks a guy, he teleports to the other side of the map. When a guy's off the hook, he has built-in, built-in borrow time. Built-in borrow time is not enough. They need built-in off the record, because you'll see it. There are times you'll watch a game. I'll switch over to some more gameplay. You'll see it. There are times when I'm running around and the guy gets unhooked and I just start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then off I go. I just down him. So it's just not hard. I just have to wait 5 seconds when I camp and tunnel, but 5 seconds plus 10 seconds to get him to a hook is way better than waiting all game. When I knew they had off the record, I would have to hit them twice, but then it will be, instead of being about 15 to 20 seconds, it would go up to the average of 40 seconds. And 40 seconds is, it could be a whole gen. It's definitely half a gen. And that's, that's time. Time is everything in this game. Killers camp and tunnel because gens fly off the board. And you know what? If you're a survivor, you're supposed to. I'm a survivor main. You'll see what I'm doing here. See that hook grab? Again, the hook grab, and then I put him down, and now that guy can try. I got another hook grab. Wraith is very, very, very good at hook grabs. And then you camp and you slug and you go around, and then you get another guy on the hook. And it's just so effective. As long as I can camp and tunnel, I expect to win a minimum of 55% of my matches. As long as that's an option, I'm going to win. And on one side of it, it proves that all the killers are viable because camping and tunneling is viable. I'm going to say it again. All the killers are viable because camping and tunneling is viable. It works. So then the next thing you have to worry about is, okay, well, if they're going to camp and tunnel and camping and tunnel is viable, well, then it's not fun because I'm not playing Wraith and using his ability in a unique way, or Oni or Billy. I'm not using the killer. I'm using this one tactic. So sure, you can make that argument, but again, unless they're doing a randomizer build or unless they're doing some other thing, let's face it, guys, they're about 2 killer builds. And you're not using the guy's ability, like the build doesn't change. You're using Eruption, Scourge Hook, Pain Res, maybe Call of Brine, a Deadlock, but you're using the same 4 to 8 killer perks. So it's again, you want to win, and you don't actually care how unique your gameplay is because you want to win. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you for wanting to win. Don't take this the wrong way. Of course you want to win. And if you want to win, you're going to camp and tunnel and use the same 8 perks because you want to win. Would it be nice if you could, use the Wraith and do unique gameplay with Wraith and do unique builds? It would. It'd be great. And Dead by Daylight tried to do this with the 6.0 update. They made an effort. They tried very hard to make sure that they shake up the meta. And I guess they're going to do it again. But you can shake up the meta every single time you want. But what you're not going to do is change gameplay. I am open to the argument, well, it's the survivor's fault. What do you want the survivors to do? They only have the one objective. They have to do the gens. Now you can bring in a new objective, a sidebar objective, things like that. These are ideas I'm willing to discuss, but until the survivors have more to do, then they're going to keep doing it. But if your argument is, well, the survivors get gens done so quickly, I'm over here looking at these statistics, and I don't care how, sure, maybe they're doing gens really fast. But quite frankly, I'm still killing 6 out of every 10 survivors I face, despite the fact that gen speed is a problem. You know, I don't know that gen speed's the problem, because you put all the gen speed perks, you put all the gen regression perks, and I still get 6 out of 10 because I always have camping and tunneling in my back pocket. So if you take camping and tunneling off the board, yes, absolutely, there will be pain, there will be sorrow, there will be outcries of agony and wail and sackcloth and ashes, because killers like Wraith, if I play that way with Wraith, I don't know if I win 10 games. But that goes to prove, okay, this killer is weak from that point of view. But killer Wraith is only weak if I refuse to play the way I know is most efficient. So again, I don't get mad when I get camped and tunneled anymore. And survivor mates, if you're out there, you shouldn't be mad if you're camped and tunneled either. That might literally be the only way he can win. Does it suck? It does. It's no fun. But if you take away that ability, then the kill rates go down, and the devs have been open and upfront. They've said it over and over and over again. We absolutely want a 55 to 60% kill rate. So if the kill rates go down because they make that impossible, the answer isn't let them camp and tunnel again. Now I can look at the killers and be like, wow, Wraith is like at 10%. He wins 10% of his games. I really need to buff Wraith. Huntress or nurse or whatever, on average, they're not doing so hot. So I need to fix this. When killer mains are playing the game, what they typically say is, oh, hey, you know, I only camp and tunnel if things get rough. And so I've heard people say it, well, you know, we have Blight and Nurse, and I don't know, insert whatever other really strong guy you want, but, oh, I play Blight and Nurse, and I only do this because, you know, they're the only killers that I can play in a fair way with. True enough. And you know what? If they're the only killers that work, then play those killers. But then it doesn't matter if camping and tunneling is taking away, because you're only using the killers who don't need to camp and tunnel. Spirit, I should probably mention in there, although there's some debate about it now. But if you take away that ability, then the killers have to stand on their own merit. And it might suck. It might not be fun. It might be a whole lot of, it might be a whole lot of pain. But at the end of the day, when you play the game, when you're playing the game and you can't camp and tunnel anymore, then it'll force the devs to actually fix the killers, because they're not balancing around old reliable camping and tunneling. And if you're balancing around old reliable camping and tunneling, what else do you want them to do? So that is my theory on that. I won with Wraith, and yes, I had to camp and tunnel, but I can, so why wouldn't I? You can camp and tunnel. If you want to do it, go for it. If that's what you got to do to win, or you just want to get your 100 kill streak, whatever. But I'm not going to be mad at survivors for bringing 4 toolboxes and 4 whatever. There are a few games where you look at it where survivors were really mad, like, oh, you were camping and tunneling. Like, well, you brought 4 toolboxes and 4 brand new parts. So, I mean, you're doing everything you can do to get out. I'm going to do everything I can do to win. And wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be great if I knew I could play the game and the killer had to chase me and down me 3 times? And then you can look at gen speed. Then you can look at the Wraith, the killer's ability, in this case, Wraith. And you can go in there and say to yourself, you know what, this had to be tough. This had to be really bad. And so we got to fix this guy. And that's aside from all the other survivor buffs and all the other killer buffs and all those other meta shakeups. None of that matters as long as as long as I know I can always rely on camping and tunneling if things get tough. And even then, look at what it would do for tournament play. If tournament play was actual chases and actual downs and actual gen speeds, wouldn't that be even more entertaining? I think so. So I can respect the argument, oh, hey, this guy only got 56 wins because he camped and tunneled. I don't care. I got 56 wins. If the question is, can I win with Wraith? The answer is quantifiably, yep. Yes, you can. And I'm of the opinion I can win with any killer so long as I can do that. I don't think I'm going to do as well with Nurse as I did with anyone because I can't use the Nurse whatsoever. And you know, I'll find out. I'm currently playing with Billy. I am 4 games into Billy, and I've won all 4. I'm 4-0. I don't know how much I camp and tunnel with Billy. I do, but I'll tell you right now, I don't feel nervous. With Wraith, every gen that got done gave me a heart attack. With Billy, I didn't feel any nerves until 2 gens were done. Kind of the same way with Trapper. I'm like, I don't care. You can do 3 gens or 4 gens, but I'm going to trap up my 3 gen, and all I care about is that. With Billy, I have 3 gen. In this first game, I 3 gen. But with Billy, I have map pressure, and the map pressure allows me to not focus on camping and tunneling so much, even though I do. But for this series, and I'm very new, and if you want to watch it, you can catch me on Twitch, Twitch/StickMC2005. And if Xbox ever lets me actually play the game, I would be playing right now, but I'm not. But with you can come on and watch me play and see how that goes. But now I'm tracking more data. So how long does it take me to get my first hook? How many gens are done at my hook? When is the first gen done? When is the second gen done? When is the third gen done? All of this data I'm tracking. Okay, so on average, how long does it take to get the gens done? So I'm 4 games in with Billy, and there was only 1 game. I had this was my first ever, I don't know, I'd have to look at Trapper, but I can't remember. If I had one, I can't remember the last time I had a 4-man 4K 5 gen. So not a single gen was done. This is the only game so far where all 5 gens were done, but I'm tracking that, and I'm keeping that data over here. So hopefully you'll stop on by, take a look at it. But honestly, just like I did last time, this is my challenge to all these streamers who are better than me, and it's pretty much anyone who's a streamer. You can say whatever you want about how I performed with Wraith, and you can be like, well, it would never work at my level. It would never do this. Try it. Don't do 100 games. Do 10. Although I think 10, if you look at science, 10 times is not a very large number. But my point is, try the challenge out yourself. See how you would do with those players. See how you would do with that setup. And then you can compare your data to mine and say, hey, I did this and I performed this much better. Or maybe I'm top MMR, look how terrible it was. But one guy isn't enough. One, like me doing it, this just shows what I can do for myself, which is great for me. But it doesn't prove that Wraith is overpowered. It doesn't even prove that camping and tunneling is overpowered. It proves that when I camp and tunnel, I win more than I lose. If more people track this, honestly, my dream of dreams is that Dead by Daylight would track all of this data. And as Dead by Daylight tracks this data, then we get a really, really good picture of whether or not a killer is truly viable, what the kill statistics are really like, what it takes to get those kill statistics. That would be a truly, truly great thing. But I don't have any of the devs here or any of that other stuff. But seriously, I think that the other killer mains should try this out. You know, I'd love to see Strava try this 100 games with whatever killer he wants. And how does that guy perform? No perks, no add-ons. Because you know he really looks at stuff analytically, things of that sort. And that'd be fascinating. But really, anyone who took this challenge on, it would be great because it would allow comparative analysis. This is how Stick MC did. Now I want to know how I would do if I did this. This is how I did. This is how this person did. And those are interesting things to track. For now, though, all I can do is control me. All I can do is continue this. I won more than I lost with Trapper, so Trapper's fine. Especially, or maybe only because I can camp and tunnel. Well, there it is. I can. Wraith is viable because I can camp and tunnel. Do I lose games? Do I even have big losing streaks? Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. But I still win 56 out of every 100 games I play. And if you want to win 60, 70, 80 out of every 100 games, who doesn't want to win more than they lose? But if you truly and genuinely win more than you lose, I don't think you have anything to complain about. My one complaint, my one frustration is the polarity of Dead by Daylight. When I win big and I win easy. And when I lose big and I feel like an idiot. I think Dead by Daylight would be healthier if it wasn't 6-game losing streak, 7-game winning streak, 6-game losing streak, 10-game winning streak. It would be better if I weren't getting frog stomped one game and then getting a 4K 5-gen in the next game. But I think that balance only happens when the actual killer and his ability or her ability determines the uniqueness of the gameplay. Right now, the gameplay isn't, oh, it's this killer, so I got to do this, or it's that killer, and I got to do this. It's, well, it's a killer. He's going to camp and tunnel. He's got Eruption, Scourge Hook Pain Res, Dragon's Grip, and Deadlock. And we're either a toxic 4-man and we're going to get this out because we can loop a guy for 5 gens, or we're just a couple guys having fun and we're all going to get obliterated because this guy's lost 10 games in a row. That polarity is the big problem. That polarity is the big issue. So those are my findings with Wraith. That's what I have come to discover. And I will be playing Billy. I don't know if I'm playing anything tonight because it's just not letting me onto the server. But I'll be playing Billy. I stream on Twitch typically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You might find me the other day, but Monday through Thursday, I know you're going to see me. And I come on somewhere around 8:30 and I leave somewhere around 11:30. That's the ballpark. And I always start with my killer matches. If I win, I move straight to Survivor because I am a Survivor main, but I'm not a good Survivor main. My escape rate is 44%. So I'm not pretending to be some hot stuff. I'm not pretending to be great. I am just saying, hey, look, I'm an average person and an average guy who doesn't do this for tournaments or for money or for, I'm streaming, but I think I have like 7 followers and I can't think of the number. I've had one guy come and visit me on my stream. That's not me crying for attention. I'm just trying to make sure I'm very open about how average and unimportant I am in the overall grand scheme of things. To be blunt, there's no one who is more important than all of the community. But I'm certainly not a stronger voice in the community. I'm certainly not a stronger personality, and I'm not even a very skilled player. I'm just a guy who's doing his best. But part of what I'm doing is trying to figure out how do I perform in a manner that works for me? How do I perform and how do I contextualize this data into something I can share with other people? So that is it for Wraith. 100 games, no perks and no add-ons. On this same channel, this is my stream. You can look at these uploads. You can watch whatever games you want, get a feel for how I play and how I do. You can look in the comments. And if you just want to kind of see before I play, if you want to be surprised, you don't have to drop down. If you want to see, be like, well, he won this match. He got 3 kills. Let's see how this game went. I can't spell altruism clearly, but I typically annotate when I feel like I managed to get the win because other people were trying to be helpful to their teammates. But again, I don't control that. I will tell you again, the more I play as a killer, the more I know if this guy is camping, it sucks. Leave me on the hook, get the gens done, get out. Because on the survivor side, if I'm sitting here telling killers, camp and tunnel all you want, then what are you going to do? Like, what is your choice? The choice is on the survivor side, you have to punish camping and tunneling. If he's camping, then you need to be doing gens. That guy is dead. The best you can do is trade with him. That sucks. It's not going to work. And then all that happens is the killer wins the game. He feels validated and he keeps camping and tunneling. If you, as a survivor main, want to take camping and tunneling out of the game, then you need to punish camping and tunneling by making sure that the one guy he's camping and tunneling is the only guy he can get to. And if you do that, then he only gets one hook and he's like, wow, that doesn't work. And his kill rates go down and then other stuff happens. But for now, as a survivor, that's the only way you have to fight. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what other thoughts or theories you have. If there are stats that you want me to track to better articulate or analyze how the game was performed or any of that, please don't hesitate to let me know. And if I can get on tonight, I'll be playing tonight. Otherwise, I'll see you around. Thank you. And have a great night. Bye now.